rotation. But I think Wukong, Zeri, and Yuumi are the three that I expect to be prioritized. So they are looking at the Zeri right now for LWX again. If you deny the Yuumi, that would be particularly painful for EDG's bot lane. But we'll see what they end up going for. They could just take the Wukong and be happy with the Lulu to wrap things up.
Yeah, there's so many 5-head drafting strategies, right? As you're alluding to, Wukong, Yuumi, so big here for FPX. Setting up for the 2v2 as well would mean that Viper and Meiko need a different angle. And they don't have that much available already as Wukong instead. Not going to give that over to Junjia. So Aux, Yuumi, as you said, could be denied here by EDG. But what do you pair it with?
Probably just Sivir again. I feel like Sivir Yuumi makes a lot of sense here for EDG. Okay. And then FPX probably take Lulu on 3, and we get that trade-off coming through once more. Maybe they go a different direction, but I feel like if it ain't broke, I mean, okay, it did lose last game, so maybe they decide on that to change things up. And it looks like they want a bit more aggression in the bot lane, so not willing to take the scaling handshake that we saw in the previous 2 games. They go Lushanami, and now FPX, they can go Yuumi themselves. Obviously, those allow a lot of freedom for Viper and Meiko to take over the 2v2. And we saw that in game 1, that when they had advantages in the 2v2, EDG did take over.
It's just interesting to me because for EDG, they're 0-2 on this Lucian in the regular season. We talked about LWX owning this pick and it being his most played AD carry of the split. The fact that Viper pulls it out in a game 4 against him is so peculiar. Because we do get the Lulu Orcs here instead of the Yuumi.
One of the losses we saw on Lushanami for EDG was into FPX. It was their first series of the split, game 2. They played Lushanami into FPX's Clister Renata, and LWX and Hung tower dove them level 2. And LWX died and then bailed out and killed Viper for the reset. So we've seen them play. We've seen FPX play into the Lushanami before, but they have gone for the Lulu Zeri. So it will be tricky at times in lane, but if Lushanami overcommit, they might be able to turn it around. But we start to see the bans coming in. Vi banned, LeBlanc banned, EDG thin in the mid pool, and FPX targeting those junglers. Do they end up banning the Renekton here is the question with the Jax gone? No, they go for the Sejuani instead, weirdly enough.
Okay, well then the Renekton's still available, but on the side of EDG, with the mid ban already there, Orcs, we've got the Ahri gone, we've got the LeBlanc gone there as well. Care's been someone who's been willing to play Lissandra. Is that kind of the angle you'd expect? Yeah, I feel like not so much into the Azir. Ideally, the stuff you play into Azir is stuff that can outrange him, or that can get on top of him. And we've seen this a bit where 4th pick ends up being the top laner blind, and then 5th pick is the mid when you see everything. I'm curious what they bring out in the mid lane. Taliyah could be okay, but it's a bit short range. But regardless, we get Summit with the Kennen, so does Flandre just go for the Gragas, the flip of the matchup we saw in game 1, or maybe he goes for a tank himself? Well, that's a good point, actually. I mean, for Flandre, he's not really what you'd expect as a tank player. Flandre's played the Ornn once, but this 14 unique champion top laner, he's better served on things like the Vladimir Orcs, the Kennen, the Jax as well, the Jace.
Honestly, Vladimir kind of dumps on Kennen, by the way. That is not a good matchup for the Kennen. If you're gonna bring it out, now's the time. Now is legit the time. It would be no, we don't get it. We get the Ornn coming through. So tank top jungle to set up for these big carries in the mid and AD role. And now FPX have to try and work out what they're taking in the mid lane up against the Azir. Typically, Yone is actually something that Care's played before. It's good to Azir, by the way. You can threaten him once you hit level 3, once you hit level 6. Big windows to punish. So supreme confidence from Care on this pick. And for me, that is the backline dive from hell on the side of FPX.
Look at the ulti all in Orcs. I mean, once those ultis are down, how do you kind of pit it out? Because it feels like duration of the fight for EDG looks pretty solid here if they're able to survive the onslaught.
Yeah, I mean, EDG want a front to back. They want scout save, Viper save. But if either of those die, if either of them are caught, who's going to carry you through the fight? Ornn? Not really. So FPX, it's about those big explosive ults, that momentum, diving forwards, Zeri joining on the top, whereas EDG, they want to try and buy space. But I think what's really important is this Lucian. If the Lucian's behind, I think the comp all falls apart. Azir cannot do enough solo. Lucian needs to be strong if EDG are going to win this, take this series, and continue on their path back to Worlds.
Putting it down in the 2v2, that sounds like EDG, the team that came into this series with hyped up lanes, but it's been a mixed bag. FPX were able to fight back last game and able to find themselves so many good picks to lead to a Game 4. And so it's not cut and dry. In a series that matters, as Aux said, for Worlds, where the loser will not get into regionals, guaranteed. FPX hang on by a thread, but it is getting more and more solid as we progress with games. Can they take us to a Game 5? Can they get Mark Z on the phone to start his encore singing experience? I don't know. But at the very least for FPX, who were not pitted to be in playoffs by yours truly here at the start of the split with their 0-5 beginning, all I can say is this is more than my expectation. It was a great Game 5 against OMG, a good return from a 2-1 start. Can they do it again here against our world champions of 2021 and deny us our returning champion, our veteran, back to the world stage? It would be such a big feat, but of course, it continues here as Aux returns on his Yone. This was such a big pick in Game 4 against OMG that destroyed Cream in the individual laning.
Yeah, if you didn't catch it, it wasn't just like Care was like cleaning up the kills, doing a ton of damage and being like, hey, look, I'm cleaning up my team and doing it. Care was the one starting the fights. He was the one setting it up with the aggression. Just fantastic to see.
I believe that was 600 kills from Scout at the very least, we saw on the screen.
I thought that was 600 games.
Hey, okay, 600 games. Yeah. There we go. I was about to say, weird that we get 600 kills when Scout hasn't picked up a kill in this game. So thank you for the coordination there, Aux. 600 games from Scout. Number 3 in the LPL from what I saw. And again, this veteran of the mid lane going up against a rookie of the one of the rookies of the year in Care. Needs to come in clutch here with his most played pick, Aux, of the regular season.
Yeah, and I love, again, we're seeing these aggressive level 1s from Clid stepping up, taking Junjia's red buff with the invade. But it has been spot out, has been matched, and we can see Junjia going up towards the red buff. On the opposite side, the problem is here, you're leaving your Lucian Nami isolated.
True.
Not the best position to be in. Viper and Meiko actually doing a decent job of trading here. Bear in mind, Lucian Nami isn't the best level 1. Level 2 is okay. Level 3 is really where it spikes. That's where you're looking to find the advantage. And as we move away towards the mid lane, this is kind of the annoying thing with this matchup, is that Yone can get up to you, get on top of you, go for those heavy trades, and then with Doran's shield, heal up some of the damage.
I feel like right now we're seeing some of those trades come into effect. Junjia on the top side though, Aux. I want to talk about jungle pathing, because this jungle is invading once again like we saw in the last game. FPX is spotting him on a ward for now, but at the very least, it looks like Junjia is starting with the lead.
Yeah, so I didn't actually get to see whether Clid did the Raptors or not. I would assume so, just based on the timing. So I think they both left one Raptor up just to be annoying. And so they'll just continue back in their own jungle on their blue side. Hopefully we get to pan over and see. Nope, we don't get a look in the Raptors. I would assume based on the ward there that he just left one. So both forcing their counterpart to have to go through, clear that last Raptor. And we'll see them move towards the scuttle. It looks like Junjia's pathing towards the bot side, but Clid, you have your bot lane in position to move, so you should be able to secure this quite comfortably.
It's a deep push, hey, as we got the scuttle secured by Clid, and Junjia is evaded pathing, or an evade vision, I should say. But Clid's moving in. Right now, the 1v1 going to begin, but it's a Trundle, and we all know Trundles in the 1v1 are going to be so simple. Lethal Tempo's pulled up, a Scout jumps on in. He's got low mana, but it doesn't matter. Care is baited. Junjia flashes a great killer as Clid comes back to his death. FPX, oh no! Junjia with a double kill, and that is a disaster for FPX.
Absolute scenes, and this is the reason why Junjia prios this Trundle. Oh, level 3's hit by EDG, but actually the Tycho's blessing goes on Meiko, so nothing's going to come from it. But as I was saying, Junjia loves this Trundle because you basically just duel any jungler in the game. Lethal Tempo stacked, like you can't contest that. And Care comes over to try and save his jungle and just gets baited in. Man, I praise Clid for what he did level 1. Walking in there, absolute mistake, and it was so costly.
Oh man, it's a 2-0 start at the Trundle. Might be going towards the Sunfire here as, sorry, not Sunfire, you know, Gauntlet. But it is going to be the Bammy start at the very least, Orcs. I'm living in a patch 10s, point
you know
something, whatever.
That's the nicest thing about early Bammies and Trundle. It's the worst thing ever trying to clear a Raptors on Trundle, because like you have no AoE. You have to like bite every single one. So having the Bammies just makes your clear so much faster. That's often the thing. If you snowball the jungler, you clear faster, you get ahead more. They're looking once more for mid. Remember, Care, no flash. Could be vulnerable, but Junjia won't find anything and will just move down towards his bot side.
He was spotted out, I think, by Clid getting the tip of the vision there. But Aux, let's look again, because if this costs them a world spot and the run of their playoffs, that would just be so heartbreaking.
Yeah, and Scout does such a good job of sliding in. So confident with Junjia there with double buffs and the power of the lethal tempo stacked. And then Clid is like, okay, well, I guess I can help.
Help.
Mistake, and then Care is like, oh, God. Take me away.
God, watching a Yone go back to certain death hurts, and for FPX...
You say hurts, I get some satisfaction from it, I'll be honest.
Oh, you are sadistic, Orc, so that's okay. Look, that's all right. You give Scout a better lane, you give him a 10 CS advantage, and a double kill to start off. Someone getting 6 first, though, in the top lane. Pulls out the Slicing Maelstrom, and Flandre just has to back off. We put our vision to the bottom side, Orcs, and I was going to ask you what happens next, but at the very least, EDG trying to find control through this early lead that Junjia's given to try and brutalize the rest of FPX's map.
Yeah, I mean, Junjia just wants to be everywhere Clid is, because if that happens, Junjia is stronger, Junjia wins. So that is kind of the game plan here. Good tracking can pay dividends. Top lane, we did pan over to before. That's going to be pretty Kennen favored as he just farms up and harasses. But now, wait, Junjia, got to be a bit careful. Yeah, try to go for this control ward quite aggressively, but Viper is more focused on the wave.
So walk me through a little bit about Junjia's pathing, because with that lead, we're seeing the aggression now down against Clid as he doesn't get what he's after. I was more curious about where his next move is, right? You said Care's flash is not available. Lwx's Ghost is almost back up, and I'm looking at windows here for EDG to try and build up a snowball in this game.
I think mostly you want to play coverage for your bot and mid, because at the end of the day, your lanes are winning naturally. Like, look at mid, Scout is pressuring Care with no flash. Oh, Clid.
He's caught out. He's caught out. He has to use a clone, at least over the wall. But Junjia, with the frozen domain, is still able to follow up. He gets that ward. That was the main thing, Orcs. He came back. As, we're looking at the bottom side. Hang on, we have to pause a little bit because Scout is going to get out of the way of the Yone with his fate unsealed. Care still has that ultimate available, but look who's here. Junjia is just waiting for a misstep. Orcs are a little bit of heightened action. You didn't get to finish your point.
But I think the story is, like, look how Viper and Meiko play in the spot lane. Super aggressive, harassing on a tower, taking plates. They can't do this if Clid is threatening ganks. So Junjia's role there, his top side was up, and yet he wasn't going over because his main goal was keep Clid off my lanes, and he does a fantastic job of it. Now, though, resets come in. Herald is up in 20. I think this is a point where Junjia starts to path towards the top side if they want to contest the Herald, and they can also move the bot lane up. But something we have noted is that there is times where EDG will opt out of the Herald. If Lwx and Hung, they're resetting now. If they go top side for the Herald, they lose plates for days, by the way. It would be pretty punishing, and that might be the angle EDG approach.
Lwx, though, does he match out in the end? Hung looks like he's moving up to the top side as Lwx is going to end up catching this one. So Viper and Meiko, as you said, it's an EDG, I guess, habit at this point. Putting it all into the lane, making sure their lane ends with a lead by the 15-minute mark. And Viper and Meiko will have themselves a big shove here. Orcs with, looks like Lwx and Hung aren't going to commit to the Herald either.
Yeah, but this is a difficult thing, because if Lwx and Hung stay bot, they still lose a plate here, and they can't contest Herald because it's a 3v3 and the Trundle's too strong. If they go top side, they get the Herald, but they lose even more plates. So it's pick your poison, not really a good option. I do think, though, Summit and Care are trying to posture and force Junjia away. The power of the 3 ults on the top side from FPX is really strong, so you have to respect that. But at the end of the day, if no one's doing the Herald, if EDG's lanes continue playing out this way, I think they're happy. I want to draw your attention to the inventory of Viper with that big early spike with the pickaxe as well.
Yeah, true. A lot of damage coming in, and because of EDG's lane leads, we are getting a 1k gold lead to start off this game as well. It's been those 2 kills on top of that, so worth mentioning that's probably influencing it. But as Herald gets started here by Junjia, Orcs, it looks like FPX, their window is slightly fading away, with EDG having the push in the top and the mid temporarily. Yeah,
so with the opportunity, they can move over. Scout being mobile, though, means he can't disengage if needed. Looks like they're trying to posture for a fight.
But Call the Forge got the fate sealed. It's great, but look at the Emperor's Divide. Care and Clid are sent packing. He's got no flash, but Cyclone's still available as he uses it onto Junjia. The smite comes in with the Slicing Maelstrom. It's a 3-man from big old Summit. Clid burning to death, but it's not enough to take his life as Flandre's next on the menu. And Scout gonna be followed up over the wall. Cares got him. This is he has the flash. And FPX, Aux, you hit the nail. Those ults are brutal.
And the big thing is, EDG, the anti-synergy came in. This roster who won Worlds together, the mistiming Scout and Flandre ult at the same time. And as a result, the ult from the Ornn misses, and that is enough of an advantage for FPX to take the fight and the Herald. We'll get the replay, and yeah, it's just the ult starts to come down from Ornn, and then they're knocked out of it at the end. That extra damage would have made the difference. Clid would have certainly died in this ensuing play, but the end result is Summit comes in massive here with the triple stun. We see Junjia go down. Clid takes the Herald and the skedaddles, and the chase down comes after Hung making the first move and knock on the minimap. EDG's bot lane also moved, so all those plates I was talking about them taking never happened.
That's true. They only got the one in the end, so EDG, that gold lead is kaput, and FPX now up a K themselves. That was a play that set Summit up for success as well. Aux, he's already doing well in the lane, but this cannon now, up about 20 CS, has the kill, the proto belt, and the Hex Tech setup. We've got a 1.5 item cannon versus not a completed for Flandre.
He has first strike as well. That triple ult, I'm pretty sure he procced first strike there. I don't think he was hit before it. Like, he probably actually got a lot of gold from that as well. And now FPX making their way on the dragon. They should just get this and get out. Not able to contest in time, so this is fantastic. Gold lead with the Herald still in pocket, and the dragon as well. Cloud Dragon, they doubled the effectiveness of it. It's now 7% out of combat movement speed and slow resistance as of the patch we had 12-14. That is a lot. You're up against like so many slows, the Nami, the Azir with the Q, the Trundle pillar. You're resisting those by 7%, but also 7% out of combat movement speed. It's like mini Mobies for everyone on your team. It's like 24 movement speed when you have like 350 base. So everyone in FPX will be rotating faster. It's a pretty significant one to get early.
Yeah, it's so good, especially since for FPX, we talked a lot about the strength of these ultis in the early game. But for FPX Aux, we're looking at this team trying to fight for a Game 5, a series win to keep their dreams alive. After the earlier, intelligent play from Clid and Care, this is a really good rebuttal considering that the options were kind of falling out. And hey, EDG haven't been able to set up bot as per you stated the win con.
Yeah, I mean, like, Viper's been getting played, sure, 10 CS up, but this is Lulu Zeri, right? It's not like you have Sivir, Yuumi in your own team. This is going to be pretty tricky in the late stage of the game. Junjia has found Clid, but, I mean, look how less confident he is. I feel like before we got that Herald play, he would have just killed him there, or at least tried to. But now the confidence is gone. Clid still has the Herald in pocket. A minute left, so I expect that to be slammed down soon. We'll see where he looks for the angle, though. Oh, Clid has found Junjia now.
Yeah, we got Cyclone in the bottom side. All right, Junjia needs to survive. Subjugate now used as Clid does his damage, but Aux, even though Dragon's not up, Care ulting in as well onto Junjia, trying to space it out nicely. And we get ourselves a Urinator, jump on, back on in. FPX with the double ulti here after the Soul Unbound disappears.
Meiko.
Now they're walking again. Tidal Wave comes in. He's trying to 2v3 as Viper's culling is great onto Viper, trying to pick up where Meiko decided to walk in and Aux. That is like the third game out of this series where Meiko has walked about.
Look at the inventory, so look at the scoreboard. Look at Clid. The Herald is timing out. They were going bot to make the Herald play.
Oh, true.
It's now timed out, so he has to slam it. And this means EDG see it coming. They can try and defend, but now they're looking for a potential dive here.
And it won't get any plates as well. We'll talk about that in a second. Lwx is just blasted out to start off. Taken up as Viper, who has to flash out with a double kill going over to Junjia. But he's got the aggro.
Oh.
You're right. That's a shutdown over to Hung at the very least. And Meiko burned his flash before. EDG Aux, not as clean as we were talking about.
Yeah, so I thought Junjia, I don't know why he stayed in. I think what his game plan was give the shutdown to Hung, which actually makes sense. So, but he heads up from him. Herald does go down, but notice 14 minutes has been passed. No plates received from this, but it will be first tower for Summit at least, which is something. Constant back and forth. This is what we expect when both these teams go in head to head. And now, I mean, we don't get a chance to talk more action.
We don't. Summit has ulti though in a quick second. I believe it's on about a 5-second cooldown as he flashes away. And Flandre punishes that window almost perfectly. Maybe it wasn't even on a cooldown. Summit just didn't want to die. So there you go. Flash from the top laner.
Dying in League of Legends is generally seen as a bad thing.
That's right, Orcs. It has to be, right? As we look at the replay here, walk me through what this was.
Yeah, so they just don't quite have enough damage. Remember, Lucian, very front-loaded burst here. Cleanses to stop the polymorph. But after you've used your combo, you're just auto-attacking. Junjia, I think he knows he's dead here, so he stays in range. Gives the shutdown to Hung with no assist, which is the right call. Meiko, unfortunately, does die, and we see those treasure hunter stacks come in. But I do want to take note of some of the items coming through. We have the Gale Force for Viper with a Dirk, and we have the Mandate for Nami. This is really the power spike of Lucian Nami. Yes, it's a strong lane, but this is where it really thrives. At this point, if Viper gets buffed by Meiko, and he dashes in with Gale Force, he can 100-0 anyone in the game. He is so strong,
FPX?
and FPX have to be so careful.
I was going to ask you, what about FPX here? Because Summit's still with 2 items now in this first 15 minutes.
I mean, all
big.
I'm going to say is if we get the team fights, right, Herald is up, Dragon in 40. Yeah. I see 3 big ultimates in FPX. If one of them hit, it's going to be a bad time. Before 3 hit, that's game. Like, there's no counterplay on that one. Summit is going to do an obscene amount of damage. And actually, I don't think there's an exhaust on the side of EDG. We'll see when this player level XP thing drops down, but I'm pretty sure... Oh, no, okay, Meiko does have exhaust, third ignite. Okay, so at least they have that. That's something. But with this much damage, I'm not sure it's enough.
I mean, we've also got Unsealed Spellbook for Flandre, but it's a good point. Like, right now, Summit is in charge, and hell, even Care, as we just saw on our screens, is soloing out Scout. You talked about the strength of this matchup. He's got Blade of the Ruined King and Berserkers, so Care in a comfortable position as well. EDG, as we look at the map, though, are picking up this Herald, but still 2,000 gold underneath FPX. In a Game 4 where FPX are fighting for their lives, they've started the reverse sweep, and in this game, looking like a good position to take it all the way to the distance. But Orcs, it is going to depend on the next couple of Dragons as FPX set them up with the first 2.
Yeah, going to be Mountain once again. I'll be honest, Mountain Soul for EDG would be fantastic. Keeping your main carry safe against the dive, and also the fact you have 2 big tanks. But FPX getting an Infernal Dragon, 6% AD and AP, great across anyone on their team. And now this is how Lucian Nami should play. It's around the picks.
Oh, there we go. Culling flashed away his Lwx as the wild growth and flash from Hung to save his AD carry. Just Viper Meiko things, I guess.
Yeah, this is literally how you should be playing Lucian Nami in the mid game. Anyone who steps up to mid wave, you just dash in Gale Force and you kill them. Lwx survives with his flash burn, ult from Lulu as well, and with the Herald coming, you can't defend this. 5 members of EDG ready to make this push happen.
Just a simple play with the double summoners down, the Sun turret up with the Herald. EDG are going to be close to equalizing gold here, as it's not the turret down, but at the very least, it's a close call. FPX are poked as the next wave comes through. And Orcs, EDG did this in game number 2. This is the turret push that they're trying to threaten, but Care at least getting a response this time around.
Yeah, I don't think Care will have time to get the tier 2, so they trade 2 towers mid for 1 top, which EDG are really happy with that trade. Even though the tier 2 mid doesn't give the extra gold, it's the strategical power of it, right? We still have 2 towers in both the side lanes, but now you can push that mid wave really deep. And we just said FPX are going to struggle to contest mid waves against Lucian Nami, so ample opportunity for EDG to lean into the sides on the back of this. But FPX at least gets something in return. They're still up in gold, still up by 1,000, and with 2 dragons in pocket, they're in a decent spot. But yeah, EDG having a good answer.
Ooh, we get the person on person. Just the pure Gale Force magic out of Viper, who set up this play, Orcs, and Hung needing to flash as well. I mean, double summoners for one simple Gale Force. As you said, that's
I'm going to be real. I don't think Hung needed a flash there, but I think that was one of those moments where you just panic, okay? Like, Lwx flashes out the culling. He's not going to take any more damage, but you don't hesitate in those moments. Not when you are 1 game away of being knocked out of playoffs, knocked out of any chance to go on a Worlds. You play it safe.
You do indeed. I mean, Viper's almost 3 items too, and we can talk a little bit about his threat, because for EDG, this game is not far gone. We also mentioned, Orcs, a lot about this front-to-back team fighting. For FPX being ult-reliant, the game going on, the trades from EDG, it does cause some concern, right? That we're going into a mid-game where it's not very one-sided for FPX as of yet.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, though, like, as much as the strong scaling elements on EDG, Viper's going to struggle. If he's not taking over team fights and, like, dashing in and one-shot people, his short range is problematic, because if you're in range to hit Summit, Clid, or Care, you're getting hit in return, and that is not a fun time. For now, though, we see EDG open on the map. You can see no one can contest that mid wave. Look at Lwx. He's scared of the Lucian, so they get this deep push. This is the impact of having that tier 2 down mid. Very deep push in. They rotate through the jungle, put some wards down, escort the wave in. And they don't get the tier 2 yet, but they got that tier 1. And I think we're going to see EDG probably resetting here and trying to do that on the opposite side. Although I think with a minute 30 on Dragon, maybe it's a bit too close. They need to get that Dragon. You do not want to put FPX close to that soul.
As you said as well, deny each individual Mountain Dragon from EDG, I think it's just a big enough deal, right? You talked about the bigger souls, the bigger dragons in this new patch, and the fact that with the Ornn on your side, with the Trundle as well, and the fact that we are going to be going towards the late game front to back, as Viper does it again. What? Culling at max range, and Lwx is just out of there, this time with no summoners burnt, but it just keeps happening.
Yeah, it's a little bit early, though. The reason I'm saying this is no summoners were burnt. It's a minute till Dragon. He's going to be able to reset in time. So unfortunately, they don't get, like, if it was 30 seconds later, that's probably Dragon. But at least EDG are able to set up in the area. They're going to be able to pick up this scuttle and get control. But yeah, it's once again, it's so hard for Lwx to step up. And I think Viper and Meiko are playing this Lucian Nami so effectively.
They really are. And again, it's a lane that I think they've been most successful on in the LPL, or at least one of the few. If you're tuning into the LPL and, like, wondering why, you know, Lucian Nami's still here, it's like we have had a bit of a resurgence, but more importantly, we had specific bottom lanes really pilot it. We're going to see in this fight, Aux, if they can do the same, because as Viper walks into River, FPX right now are a man down because Summit's not here. Hung's been poked out with the electrocute, and FPX don't have their mid laner either. EDG have started off this Dragon approach with a good burst.
Yeah, Summit's trying to look at a flank, but look at Scout. He is trying to find him. If Summit gets poked out, I think the team fight might just end up being doomed for FPX. He gets spotted. He knows he's been spotted, but he doesn't lose any health, which is good. And Viper keeps looking for these poke trades. But FPX are in position. They don't want to wait around. They don't want to get poked out. They just want to go. Some nice Zeri poke in return, but they want the engage ASAP.
Waiting for FPX to walk in at the very least first, but you're right, the poke was pretty severe here as Lwx steps on up. The Ultra Shock Laser hits Meiko this time as Summit does good damage to Scout. For FPX to take it to a game 5, this is the engager's tidal wave. Almost takes out Clid. Call the Forge God. Returned here by Flandre as Junjia runs over the wall. Scout poked out, and Lwx has to run from the Lucian again as Hung is one-shot capability. Viper jumps in. Care is baited by the AD carry of Edward Gaming. Flandre just swaying as Clid is just off the wing. EDG forced them out, and Aux not yet. Scout's over the wall. Hung is by himself, and you said, how does nobody die? Viper in the middle of everyone flashes away. A madman, and he's punished. Lwx gets a shutdown, and for the cost of Dragon, EDG will lose their AD carry, but hey, at least they'll get the objective.
Wait, they might not. TP coming in from Summit, TP coming in from Care. They want to continue the fight, and with Lucian down, it's only Scout as the carry.
But there's no ultis available from FPX. Everything's down, and Summit starts with Meiko, though that's a good trade. Onto Junjia, Summit runs on in as Scout pokes him out for FPX to stay in World's contention. It's all about this as Scout pokes over the wall. Flandre gets cleared, the jungler down. Hit the Dragon, yes! EDG do it. And Scout and Flandre make it happen somehow.
How does Flandre come out of that taking the Dragon as the Ornn, the last man alive? I don't even know what to say, Hysterics. The fight was so messy on all fronts. The initial fight, I was sure someone was going to go down. They didn't. We get TP after TP coming in. Let's go through the replay, right? This is actually the second part of the fight. Okay. Summit coming in, no ult, but look at the damage. He just one-shots Meiko, burst Scout down, then Scout repositions. He's still able to get some DPS off here, and Ken 14 not able to connect. Summit kills the Trundle. Oh, he's got smite. Okay. I didn't catch that. Didn't catch that. Thing's a bit too hectic, but yeah, he does actually smite. I was thinking he got so low, but he did smite. Okay, cool. Man, that was something.
You're right. You're right, because EDG lost Viper. We saw this Lucian get burst out at the start of the trade, and FPX TP back, but denied the Mountain Dragon. Aux, the soul stacking slowed down as well. And EDG now trying to build off the base of that to get themselves a long-awaited rematch against RNG. Remember that those are nemesis. And again, Summit, no! The NA talent caught out. Viper takes him, but look at the re-engage. Clid with the 4-man knockup. Not enough with Flandre heading back to play. And Viper lives on. Summit, why did it happen again?
And I think you go Baron, right? No Wukong ult, Kennen dead. You have sustain from Nami, and you have so many tanks you can tank up the Baron. But I think they're trying to bait. They want to pretend they've started it, but that ward, see that ward on the left of our screens? Really well placed there to hide from the control ward. So FPX know when the Baron's been started. They know it's gone now. Summit's up in 15. And I think EDG don't hold their nerve. They aren't able to chain this into more picks. FPX mitigate the play. So, big pick, a lot of gold. It was a shutdown on the Kennen, and especially with Viper having the now Ornn upgrade on the Gale Force, he's getting quite strong, but EDG do not get more out of the play.
You can see nerves are coming in though, right? This is Summit's first LPL playoffs. Summit is going up against 2021 world champions, and Aux here caught out in the mid lane with Viper again in the same spot. This is the same thing we've seen over and over.
Yeah, I mean, just the Ornn connecting. You can see the culling wasn't quite reaching in time. And Clid gets, I mean, it's a pretty good ultimate of 4 members, but you need the Kennen there for the damage, or at least care. Not able to find more, and we go back to a bit of a quieter state. Now, I think it's worth mentioning, like, I think every summoner under the sun was bait in the last dragon fight, so they are starting to come back, and they will be available. But that's probably going to be the next focal point. You can see EDG are constantly clearing out vision in this area. And FPX have to be careful because Azir has so much damage on the Baron. Azir Trundle can 2-man this if they're given the space. So Clid keeps having to move over, keeps having to put wards down. And that means despite the Dragon being up in a minute 45, teams are yet to move over there. They're so worried about the Baron being started that this is the focal point right now. EDG are dragging FPX to the top side.
But just look at that top side. I mean, Summit is waiting in fog of war. They don't know he's there.
Scout doesn't play. He's all business.
I was thinking something would happen here as Viper jumps forward into Clid yet again. Watch this play. Junjia heading forward with a pillar. Viper has himself the flash, the culling, and the Gale Force now upgraded to a Typhoon, thanks to the ornaments from Flandre. There's always a threat here as camera pans over. So Aux, we've got a minute 10 till Dragon. Is it still just about those ultis from FPX? Like, is it more difficult for EDG to approach now that Lwx has 3 items? What do you think?
I think 3 items for Zeri is nice, but I feel like she's still, like, you're not going to be able to step up to Lucian. You kind of need IE before you can go up into Lucian's range. So she's just there to shred through the tanks as quick as possible. If you land an Ultra Shock Laser on Lucian, fantastic. But it's still about getting on the back line. If Viper Scout dies, the pressure becomes insurmountable on the other one because there's only 2 carries in this team. If one dies, the other has to do everything, and it's so hard against this team. So FPX need a good engage. Flank angles are the ideal thing, and when we look across the summoners, every single summoner in the game is available. Flandre even has an extra exhaust.
Oh no, Clid.
Oh no, Summit more like.
No, yeah, you're right. The top laner went for the wave. Tidal wave, pillar. Teleport's coming through. As you said, though, FPX are bringing the crew. And Summit has the flash ulti available. This could be a turn as Flandre's ulti doesn't connect. Care comes on in. The Fate Seal. Viper dodges. The double auto almost kills him as now the chase back. FPX's chances dwindling as Summit flashes in. But again, the bottom lane dodges. EDG, team fighting is their forte. You can't win at this game. Even with Lwx on Zeri. Dragon's now live. And the Phoenix is losing its fire.
And Viper is just ice skating around these team fights. Cat throws everything in the kitchen sink. And Summit even launches a fridge at him. And they don't manage to connect. Viper just too clean. The mechanics are off the chain. They get the Dragon. Second one in pocket. And look, Clid's not up for 15. Summit's not up for 15. No wall. They're going straight to that Baron.
This could be the nail. Aux, FPX. It might be up in goal. But with this Baron being taken, they're going to rely on the members left available in front of it. EDG with the Call to Forge God not available. Care jumps on in, but Scout Meiko dodge away at 5k now, 4k. They have Smite, they have Flandre who can flash over the wall as Summit's coming in red hot, but onto Care over the wall. Here's Scout, the shuffle into the pit. It's a bounce house for Hung. What a way to go out as Lwx is going to be the first to die. Care, the carry of the OMG series, is trying his hardest. The Scout still has range. But look at Clid coming on in with the Cyclone available. Care surviving to his wits end as Flandre is going to be next. Scouts down. EDG actually losing this one. Aux, 4 members dead. It's a long con for FPX to live on.
And EDG just overstepped. They all dive over the wall. They leave the Baron behind. They could have just taken it. Instead, they opt for the fight, and Viper gets danger close, gets shut down, and this is what I was talking about. As soon as Viper dies, it's all on Scout, and FPX just focus him. Everyone hunting for the Zeri. Once he's gone, there's nothing EDG can do. We'll get the replay. And yeah, I mean, the Baron is 2.6. There's no smite on the side of FPX. They could have just taken it. Instead, Scout goes for the hero play, and Viper dashes in, only to get deleted. And now Scout is the only damage alive in the team. He stopwatches, so no damage has really been done. And then Care buys time here, but with the re-engage knockup, gives the space to the rest of the team to take out the Azir. And at that point, there's nothing left for EDG.
Survives for so long, just insane. As for EDG, making that mistake, as you said, means no Baron, but Aux also means that FPX able to get some crucial gold on some of these members like Summit, right? Now 4 items, almost full build. As Culling, no! It doesn't matter! It doesn't matter! It's going to be a bounce house again as Care's got nowhere left to go! A big misstep as Care wants the 1v4, but denied. And EDG are given ample opportunity to say bye, Phoenix, bye.
Viper just deletes Summit from the rift. Oh man, just finding a window, like you blink, right? And you are just gone. Deleted from the map, and Care goes too. And now Clid is alive, but you cannot approach this. Baron for EDG, and they are really starting to take control of the game. It's only, even with the Baron being taken, it's only 1,000 gold lead. But EDG, it's starting to feel scary for the side of FPX. There's 2 Mountain Dragons in pocket as well. So much extra resist for this front line.
And Aux, we talked about it, the late game insurance policy in Viper. It doesn't matter what champion, you step up, and if Viper's there, you're probably going to die. Yeah,
and unfortunately, Care, he should have just ulted away instead, and maybe would have had a better chance of getting away. But regardless, ends up going down. The exhaust, meaning he can't turn it around even with his ult connecting. And now it's starting to get scary because Viper, if he just one-shots someone before the fight starts, EDG just win the fight, right? You're not going to be able to take a 4v5. With the Baron, they're going to start to pick up some of the standing gold. But they are looking for Scout here.
Does he have the shifting sands is the question, as FPX poke their heads out, and it looks like they're just backing off with the rest of EDG moving through their own jungle. Flandre's heading up the mid lane. He has TP as well. Aux' inner turret's going to be threatened, and EDG just don't care. Look at the damage into Clid. Viper again steps up as it's almost full build. Lucian, doesn't matter that it's late game, he's always a threat as again the Gale Force culling. No one stands in front of Summit, and no one beats Viper.
Yeah, and now with Summit so low, they're gonna have to try and find an opportunity to defend this tower. Post coming in, ult to zone from the Ornn.
Look at this great angle. Lwx with the Immortal Shield Bow now. Pops as Flandre takes next to no damage. EDG one step away from meeting with their arch nemesis in RNG in round number 3, in knocking out FPX, and all of a sudden, as you said, it's dire straits here from the team that took OMG to a 5-game series that looked like it could do the same. FPX might only be down 3,000 gold, but the last 10 minutes have been about Edward Gaming.
And they don't overstep for the inhib, respecting the double TP from FPX. Could put them in a difficult spot, but now FPX are trying to make their way for Dragon. They can't do this. Just give the Dragon up. It hurts. Don't get me wrong, but they cannot contest this. They need to find a better window. TP flanks are starting to become essential. Summit needs backline access. Viper needs to die. Scout needs to die, and that will give them their window. But now 3 Mountain Dragons, and I can talk endlessly about how much this is for the Ornn or the Trundle, but Scout has the Zhonya's, and Viper has Ninja Tabi, and even just the base resist. Like, look, Scout has 173 armor.
Jesus.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
just the Zhonya's 100. Like, that is insane. And it's just going to limit the damage from Care and Clid so much. He's obviously getting extra MR, but not so much. So Summit still pumping, but yeah, quite a lot of pain. We actually see Viper sell the Ninja Tabi and go for the CDR, but it's very confident in his ability to not get connected on.
And Aux, we need to come back, and speaking of items as well, right? On top of the resistance, Remember that EDG, their gold lead, actually bigger than what it is on our screen. 3,000 on the top of the scoreboard, but now with the extra stats coming from Mountain, now also the ornaments,
Yep.
EDG more like 5,000, 6,000. They're in a firm grasp, and all it takes is one misstep, like LWX being here for EDG to punish. Junjia coming in red hot, and this could be the series. One pillar, one miss move, and EDG will crush the base and crush FPX's chances of making Worlds this year. It's so tense, Orcs, because I feel like FPX have had a really good response in Game 3 and Game 4, but it all comes down to that team fighting, right, where we know that EDG, all split long, all year long, and now all series long, has been their strength.
And you got to feel the pressure. As you said, game loss here for FPX. That is their chances of Worlds, their playoffs over. For Care, he's never made it past the first round of playoffs, right? His only playoffs in the LPL was Spring. They didn't manage to make it. And actually, it was EDG who knocked out FPX the last time in playoffs. And they're on the cusp of doing the same again. Denied them in the 2021 Summer Finals. Denied them in 2022 Spring. And looking to do so again, unless FPX can find that big team fight. If they can find either that world champion AD carry in Viper or that world champion mid laner in Scout.
Can Care step up like he did against OMG? It was on the Yone, it was on the Akali, these playmaking champions. This Dragon is 3 minutes away. Baron in 1 minute 30. FPX right now just trying to farm out their waves, but you look at this, there's a collapse happening. Hung tries to come in and help him out, but Care, oh, we just talked about this guy being the saving grace as Viper doesn't really care. He steps on up, ulties for good grace, and with Scout teleporting in, EDG's bot lane is about to be a heavy push.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is no Baron. It's not up. He will be up in time for that with TP. I think Zeri with the Ultra Shock laser over the tower can really thin the wave. They should be able to defend. At worst, they lose the tower and inhib. But the game shouldn't end yet. EDG are looking though.
Summit! At least he ulties in response, but as soon as he's dead! Summit, the new addition of FPX. You were the chosen one! As LWX steps on up to try and get the response. The top laner again, even on a carry this time, Orcs, is letting us down.
Yeah, he doesn't have time to Zhonya's. And now, I said Care dying wasn't the worst timing. Summit, that was the worst timing. He's burnt his flash, he's burnt his ult, there's a run available, and there will be a 12-second overlap where Summit is dead and Baron is up, so EDG can head over there, knowing FPX can't 5v5 them, at least for a little bit. And here, Summit, I mean, he gets focused down. I think he just says, I'm going in, rather than dying and trying to get out. But he doesn't get to Zhonya's in time before the soldiers cut through him. Absolute disaster, not the play you want at this point. And it looks like we'll have time for Summit to come back. Care?
Yeah, so LP out. I don't know why he went over the wall. Call the Forge got flashed away from because Viper's nearby. Orcs, it keeps happening. FPX, this rookie squad, right? Summit's debut, Care's debut in the year. Clid returns. Hung now with a new duo. They are showing inexperience here when it counts. EDG move over to the Baron, and this is going to be up to FPX if they can turn or steal or ulti Orcs.
They have no Yone ult, they have no flash on Yone or Kennen. It makes it so much harder. At least Viper doesn't have his flash, but with his dash and Gale Force and a GA, it's so hard. FPX is trying to not get pincered down here. The thing is, Baron, sure, you can try and take it, but a steal would be painful. Dragon is up in 40 seconds, so I think they want it done before that happens. And they just want to try and keep Clid away. Blue Trinket will spot out all of FPX, yeah.
But they need a TP from Summit, trying to draw that in at the very least at 5k. EDG are pulling off. Here's the culling. Onto Care, fade sealed. No, Viper does it again. This AD carry is humongous. 8-2 and 3, yet again looking like an MVP performance as they find the pick onto the mid lane. Scout now jumping in, and Clid is threatened. EDG are trying to shrug off the dust on their shoulders after losing a game in this series, and now trying to end it as Viper heads forward yet again with the Gale Force, and threatened out they are with the Soul, now looking free with Care dead.
Yeah, I mean, look at Viper's armor. 185 armor, and he's about to pick up another Mountain Dragon. That's just with a GA. So tanky right now. And FPX, with no flash and cannon, it's so hard to get on this back line. Really struggling to get access. They're not finding the flank angles. They're not finding the TP. And they're just getting picked. Viper is hunting them down. And now with the 4 Mountain Dragons, the Mountain Soul, I feel like this mix of ults FPX has, they're just not going to do enough. They're not going to be able to cut through the defensive options EDG has now. They're going to go for a reset before making a play for the Baron, but the Soul is so painful for FPX to go up against.
Think about further to your
Dude,
point.
look, 198. I just saw that Viper's 198 armor with just a GA. That is ridiculous.
He has more than Care, who has Frostborn Gauntlet. What's it called now? Iceborn, Frostfire
Gauntlet, and Death Stance.
And Death Stance, thank you for the
he
correction.
Has 71 magic resist with no MR item. That's just how it is.
God.
It's 36% armor and MR having these 4 dragons. I can't even imagine what Ornn's on right now. Probably like 400 armor or something. It's pretty ridiculous.
Flandre's literally Mike Tyson. If you run into him, that punch is going to knock you out clean with the rest of EDG's follow-up as well. Look at Junjia, feeling confident here, but remember, Mountain Soul, Clid's trying. Hung's caught up over the wall. Execution of the Phoenix begins with EDG. You may have found something against OMG, but EDG seemed to be a different beast.
Viper getting those kills to end it off, ruining the hopes of FPX. It's the 3rd time running. Denied them the title in 2021 summer. Denied them going any further than the first round in spring. And once again, EDG will end FPX's run in the playoffs.
They will not be at Worlds for 2022. And Edward Gaming have a date to keep with their old arch nemesis in RNG. I can't wait for that one as Edward Gaming show us that the fire still burns strong in our 2021 World Champs.
And I just mean, Viper was insane. So many fights where it's just everything's thrown at him. The Yone ult, the Kennen ult, and this guy is just dashing and dipping about. Phenomenal performance, you know. I feel like even that Sivir game, obviously he got focused down heavily, but he was just on point playing the AD carry. I had concerns, only having 2 damage threats on the team, Lucian being short-ranged, looked like it'd be so hard to play there, but Viper steps up to the plate and delivers.
What's insane to me, Orcs, is that for Viper, it doesn't matter what champion, doesn't matter if it's a Sivir, the Lucian, hell, if we see him on the Draven sometime in these playoffs, Viper is in a league of his own, and now it's Viper versus Gala. It is Viper versus the other best AD carry in the league. I mean, hell, you know, we talk about Jaculov, Gala, Viper being top tier this split with Photic. We get to see that matchup, and EDG versus RNG is always one of the best matchups of the split, whether it's playoffs or regular season. I am so glad that we get EDG in this form, where all guns are firing, all cylinders, Orcs, in the 3 game wins they pulled off today.
Hysterics, we're going to have the reigning MSI champions against the reigning world champions in round 3 of the playoffs, right? That is how stacked it is. It's just going to be such a crazy matchup. But yeah, I mean, this was a super important win for either side. EDG managed to get it, keeps the hopes alive, keeps a good chance of them making it to regionals. And I do want to say, take some time for FPX. This is not the same FPX we saw last year. When they bombed out of Worlds, it was a veteran squad that had players like Doinby in. The expectations were sky high. I feel like despite the fact that FPX didn't make it any further than round 2, they managed to take that step above round 1, right? They managed to go past the OMG. They managed to challenge EDG. And after that 2-0, it looked like maybe it was going to be a 3-0, but they managed to bounce back and at least give them a hard time in this final game. I think there's a lot of credit to be given over, particularly to Care in the mid lane, who, you know, this is his debut year in the LPL, going up against Scout and performing so solidly, picking up MVPs all over the place. Just fantastic play.
I think Care, despite, you know, a couple of missteps in the final parts of the game, but Care on Yone and showing his diversity in champion pool, but also in the winning game of that series where, game 3 for FPX Orcs, that Ahri performance yet again was so clean. And I'm really glad that, you know, Care has shown what he's capable of, showing that he can be a top-tier mid laner in the future. FPX were a roster built up of some of these, rookie talents, right? Hung was someone who came over from RA who was, hyped up as a big potential support. We had Clid returning to the LPL. Summit, no one knew how to perform after coming back from C9 after an MVP split performance. And Care is this nobody who's just taking over after Doumbé leaves FPX in its wake. Like, this was a experiment, and I will say for FPX, despite the loss here against EDG Aux, that's a success.
Absolutely. I think it is a success, and I think they should be happy that they beat their spring record. They've gone further. They can still develop over time. There's still lots that can be done, and I'm optimistic about the future of this roster. Particularly, I think Care in the mid lane and the bot lane I have loads of praise for. But I mean, look at the damage graphs, by the way. Viper over 1,000 damage per minute, and I feel like Summit's damage was also pretty crazy, but it's just been eclipsed by the fact Viper did so much. And 46% of the team's damage. It's expected when you have these tanks on your team, but still, he pulled it all out in this one. And we had those stats at the start of the day. He is third